to the world. Subscribe now to the Hot 97 YouTube channel. It's Ebro in the Morning with Laura Stiles and Rosenberg.
Ebro in the Morning, Laura Stiles, Rosenberg, Taraji P. Henson back on the program.
Thank you.
Listen, we're going to get into all the fun stuff, but there's some real work you're doing, and I want to get that at the top of this conversation and what you're doing at HBCUs. Tell us all about it.
So we have partnered, my foundation, the Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation, we have partnered with Kate Spade New York, and what we're doing is we're erecting these wellness pods on HBCU campuses because studies were shown that 60% of students drop out of college because of mental health problems, and 50% of that 60% did not have access to mental health resources. So we want to curb that in any way we can. And you know, I'm a huge advocate for mental health, especially in the Black and brown community, because we don't talk about it, and it's what's killing us. And so you know, there's a huge number of students who have attempted suicide, thought about suicide, and it's all because of mental health problems. And so we want a safe space for these students to go. And it's actually, we starting off with the she care pods. Then we're gonna launch into he care and they care. Can't leave any student behind. But the reason why we're starting with women and we're starting with HBCUs is because there's a study that 84.4% of Black women are the primary, sole, or co-breadwinners of the family. On top of that, you have the myriad of health disparity, social injustices, and pay disparities at the job. You know, when you see these social injustices happening on the television, kids being murdered, who's at home worrying? The mothers. And so that's why you have to take care of the women, because if you save a nation, you save the women. And so we're starting with the she care pods, and I'm so grateful for Kate Spade because they have been an advocate for mental health for women for over a decade. And so we came together from a human connection. We want to see people thrive, you know, and I'm just grateful that people are starting to talk about mental health the way they are. You're seeing athletes step up and take the time that they need. You're seeing artists talk about it. And I have to say, I'm pat myself on the back because when we launched in 2018, no one was really talking about it. And now that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to eradicate the stigma and have people at least say, it's okay to not be okay. The first person I heard ever come forward was Charlemagne, you know, and I big him up for especially being a Black man and being able to be that vulnerable. Like, we just need people to follow suit because you've seen the traces. You've seen how many people we've lost to suicide, and it breaks my heart. Because if you could just live to fight one other day, you know what I mean? Hope is there. And the only way you have hope is when you have someone to talk to who can understand. Sometimes you just need somebody to listen.
Well, and there's so much that's tied to the trauma and the mental health problems, right? Because then you get into why you're not sleeping, what you're eating, what you're drinking, right? And so then you're on this, when you're already suffering with mental health problems and then you're drinking, not sleeping, eating bad, all of that affects you not only scholastically on campus, but it affects your relationships.
Absolutely.
And then ultimately affects just weight gain, all diabetes. Like, you start getting
It's a domino effect.
It's a domino effect. So it's
and then
very
social
dope.
media and the news, none of that helps, because if you suffer from anxiety, one bad report is going to heighten your anxiety.
Or you're scrolling and you see a story about something that maybe you went through and it triggers you and sends you down a whole spiral.
We have access to too many triggers right now. You know, I was talking to a friend the other day, and I feel like my generation, we had the best childhood. You know, we didn't have to worry about getting snatched up off the street. You could go ride your bike around a neighborhood with your homie, just be your ass back home before the street lights come on.
Right.
You know, we didn't have the electronics. We used to go outside and play. You know, I just feel for this newer generation because that's all they have is they're attached to everything.
Well, and it's made us so. I mean, there's always. I always tell people, even in the '90s, right, and in the late '80s, there was always crazy shit going on outside. 1,000%. This phone, though, and the access to information has made us afraid of our neighbor. We don't trust nobody.
Nope.
Right? And so then now, not only do you not trust because you're seeing so much crazy shit going on, but you also now don't even want to go outside, socialize, build relationships, know what's going on in your neighborhood, none of that, kids, all that. Everybody just starts to go into their own bubbles and to staying inside, which puts you on that vicious kind of depression, anxiety cycle. So
absolutely, and you just feel like you have so much to live up to. How can you? Because these lives that people are posting, no one's gonna post when they're sad or upset. You know what I mean? Or in their lowest, they post the hype. So.
And frankly, if someone does, and then it's so stigmatized that if someone did actually post being sad, you'd be like, what's wrong with this person? Why are they showing that?
Why are you posting yourself crying? That's weird. Right.
That would be weird, right? But it's, at the same time, it's such a lie. And like my therapist said to me, I think it was my therapist or a friend said to me, why are you, in terms of comparison on social media, don't compare your inside to other people's outside. Because that's all you're seeing is whatever version they're trying for you to believe.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you're comparing it to your whole being.
Exactly. And they're showing you the filtered life because it's all through a filter.
So now Rosenberg, we often talk about what he goes through and going to therapy and these things. And I've been to therapy, and Laura, we've all done it. But there's another layer of it, which is people think therapy is when there's a problem. And it's really not necessarily when there's a problem. Yeah. Some of it is just learning, which we don't some people learn from their families, right? Mom and dad, and you talk around the family about coping tools and having the tools to deal with things and working through things. But some of that people need to learn from a professional, right? To just even have the tools that when you do potentially come across something traumatizing or something that's going to take you on a bad path, you already know yourself because you've talked to someone and kind of got that education
and even how to deal with it. To your point, learning how to have a healthy relationship. Like if you grew up in a chaotic household where yelling is a thing, like you don't bring that into your new relationship, and understanding that it's not normal what you went through as a child.
And just learning that, everything is not your parents' fault. At some point you have to grow up and take control and ownership of your own self. Right. So, your parents can only do with so much. They did the best that they could. Right. God bless them.
With the tools they had.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
And they came from another layer of trauma.
That's my point. And so at some point you have to recognize that and then take the wheel yourself.
But don't skip past the first part, because when you first go to therapy, you will realize everything was your parents' fault. And then the next step is realizing it wasn't all their fault.
Exactly.
Well, and also that I got to take responsibility now moving forward. And what am I going to do to make sure that I stop a cycle?
Right? Exactly. That's the thing. How do you stop that cycle, that vicious cycle?
Taraji, talk about these hair care products you out here selling. This big money you making out here, because I see Target on you. I'm looking on your Instagram, Target. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of money being made.
We had Target, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Sally's, all the hitters, Kroger's. But I was, I never wanted to. I was always into hair care. I love my hair, my natural hair. I have a wig on right now because I just love to take care of my natural hair. I don't like to put a lot of heat on my hair. And plus I grew up in a time where Black women didn't really embrace our natural hair. It wasn't cool, it was considered nappy, which I just don't believe in that now because I know better. And so once I fell in love with my hair, then it became about how do I take care of it in this industry where they're going to put a lot of heat on it. And when I got to Hollywood, I just heard about Black women, my edges, I lost all my edges. I was like, I don't want to lose my edges. And so when I started, putting my hair in weaves and started wearing wigs, I was like, well, how do I take care of my scalp under that? At the time, I'm pretty sure there were products out there that catered to scalp, but there was no tutorials. There was no education around it. And so when I created TPH, it was based on scalp care because I don't think people really realize you spend all that money on these expensive facials, but if you're not taking care of your scalp, all of that's going to end up on your face. And so when I created TPH, it was basically based on that formulation for scalp and the education around scalp. And then it kind of grew because I remember, I forget which movie it was. I think it was Think Like a Man, the first one, when I wore that bob. And everybody was like, oh my God, that's your hair. And they would be like, how do you keep your hair so healthy? And I'm a girl's girl. Like, I share. I just couldn't share what I did in like 141 characters. So I created a line. And so I was like, this is what I do. And if you want healthy hair, you just use these. And so it's really something I'm really passionate about. It's not something that I just slap my name on for the sake of earning money. That's actually my baby. Like, I love making women feel beautiful.
Is your business now, are you as passionate about that as you are about acting?
I'm going to be honest. I love acting, but I guess for me, this next phase is like, what's the exit plan? You know what I mean? Because the grind, I just don't have it in me like I did when I was young. It's almost like, let these kids have it. Like, I still like what I do, but I'm very selective about what I do. My producing partner said she was at lunch with someone the other day, and they was like, did Taraji is she taking a break from acting? It's not that I'm taking a break. It's like that I have done so much in this 20-something odd years, is that, like, I'm very selective about what I'm doing next.
As you should be. You're at a point where you earned that.
And you can be.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I don't want to feel like I'm no, not obligated, but that I'm
chasing in a way.
No, doing the same roles over and over.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean?
Okay.
Like, if I felt like I've done something already, it's like, I don't need to do that again. And it really has to, in order for me to put that kind of work in, because for me, acting is very spiritual. I'm allowing this character to use my body as a vessel. That's exhausting. You take on that character's problems, their mental issues. I got my own shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm trying to work through. So it takes a lot out of me. And so the older I get, the more I'm like, do I want to lend myself and my mental to this, or I'm just very protective of my mental space now.
Well, and also even your story, like your origin story and how you came into the game and just growing up in D.C. and then being a single mom and all of the things you went through. Have you even had time to stop and go and deal with like you said, I got my own shit. Have you had the time?
I hit a wall. I don't know if you guys heard of the interview I did with Angie Martinez.
Yep.
That was the wall. I have finally, because I had been working, and finally I came up for air, and I was like, what am I? I had too many questions. I felt lost. I lost a sense of joy, deep-rooted joy and happiness. And I would use other outside things like weed or alcohol to help me stabilize my moods. And I'm the type of person where I don't let anything control me. But it got to a point where that wasn't working anymore. You know what I mean? And I was like, I don't want to live like this. Like, I want that joy, that pure joy where I can just be happy without using anything. And so literally I took it upon myself to go to Bali. I went for a month, and I didn't take any friends. I went by myself. I remember, and when you're onto something with change, because the devil will try to attack you. And the first plane, I got on my first leg, it was from New York to Qatar, and that was the longest flight. It was like 12 hours. And I had a panic attack, full-on panic attack. I started crying, and I was shaking and sweating. And I called the CEO of my company, and she prayed with me. And she talked that devil out. She said, because the devil, you got to call him out. I see you, motherfucker. And then he'll run. You know what I mean? And so after I got through that, I landed. I did the whole trip dry, not a drink, nothing.
Wow.
And I can feel myself getting hot because I found that joy again. And I came back, I stayed sober. I would go out with my friends and they would drink. I would order me a mocktail. I was still the life of the party. For the first time, I feel like me again. Yeah. And I'm okay with not working right now. I mean, I have things going on. I'm more on the producing side. So I have projects lined up. It's just, it takes a while for things to get greenlit and done. But I just feel good and I'm okay. I'm just okay. I'm happy.
That's beautiful.
I'm happy again.
I don't think people realize how it won't make sense to people how someone of Taraji P. Henson's success level could not be happy. You've accomplished your dreams.
Well,
You've
they
done
think
everything.
that money is the answer, right? But oftentimes money will amplify your problems.
Makes it easier to hide.
That's exactly what it's going to do. It's going to amplify your problems. It doesn't make them go away. Thank God I can afford therapists now, so that's a plus. But just because you got money, that doesn't make your problems go away.
I am a little upset you wasted the Qatar Airlines first class with that panic attack, though. I mean, that's just, they're serving you meal after meal. You're laid up in your own room.
I got through it. But when I first, it was something about when I first sat down. I'm very claustrophobic. I got stuck on the elevator in New Orleans at the Dome.
Okay.
So after that, it's like tight spaces, a lot of people. It freaks me out. So when I sat down in the seat, the wall was like right here. But I was so busy caught up in that, I didn't realize I had a whole other section over here.
I've seen Those spaces, I didn't know what that looked.
She probably had to join with the shower and the whole thing.
After she came out, she's like, "Is that a lasagna?" I'll take that.
Well, she was talking to me, and I was like, "Yeah, you're right. Get away from me, devil." And I looked up, and I was like, "Oh, I'm good. I got a whole
500 movies. I'll be okay.
Yeah, but the next time I go, I'm gonna break that trip up because it is a 24 hours flight. It's a lot. It's tough, but it was worth it.
And to your point, like you said, that devil, that negative energy,
Call
that
it
negative
out.
focus will have you thinking that things in your world is so much smaller and that you have limited options than you actually do.
That's that fear.
That's that fear of like not actually going, wait a minute, let me look around and take stock in how much space in this case or positive things or love.
Abundance,
or people who give a fuck about like getting outside away from that thing that's making it feel like you're stuck and trapped.
Fear is very powerful if you give it that power. That's why the devil, negative for whatever it is, whatever you gotta call it, whenever that thing rise up, I'll talk to myself, bitch, I see you, devil. Get out of here. Get out of here. I don't have time for this today. Like you really have to call it because if you're quiet about it, it'll consume you. You know, so just be aware of your energy and of your space and breathe. Breath. Whew,
Oh, it's the whole thing.
that's the beat right there. Just breathe. Whenever you feel that anxiety, just stop, ground yourself, inhale and exhale. Because I don't really think people realize we're working so fast on the grind. We don't realize how often we don't breathe.
That's right.
Like when I say breathe a deep inhale, get that oxygen to your brain, you know, and I don't think people realize that. That's what the meditation is about.
Literally, we do a segment called the Relationship Gurus on the show. We give advice, and it's sort of tongue in cheek. But like today, someone called, they wrote us and said they were in a breakup and they were really feeling it. And I said, go download a good meditation app because even if you grab 10 minutes to close your eyes and breathe, it like physiologically has an impact on it.
Absolutely.
It's intentional.
Right.
It's not just like happenstance, because what you just said about us not knowing we're not breathing is because naturally our brain and our body are connected and making sure that we're breathing. But to be intentional about consuming oxygen and feeling it go into your body is a whole other level.
It literally makes you feel high.
Yeah.
Like before I went to Bali, I could sit maybe 5 minutes and meditate. I'd be itching and I got to do something. I did Bali. I was mad. I'd get up every morning. I would meditate. I did this laughing yoga. And so you laugh. There's a laughing meditation, laughing yoga. I laughed until I cried. And the release, I can't even tell you the release. But then I started implementing that and I'm in traffic. Instead of getting like this, I would laugh. You know what I mean? And the release is just so, I can't explain it. You just feel high. But I got back from Bali and now I'm able to meditate for 20 to 25 minutes.
That's pretty good.
Right.
When I first started, I couldn't even do 1 minute.
Yeah, it's hard.
And listen, still, I struggle with 10. But I'm working on it.
Yeah, as long as you keep working on it. And one day you'll look up and be like, dang, it's been 30 minutes. But in Bali, I was encountering people who could meditate for 15 hours straight.
Oh.
That's wild.
That's a lot.
15
And not fall asleep?
hours straight.
I'm gonna say, my dad meditates for 8 hours. It's about 5 minutes meditation. I'm like, Dad's been sleeping for the last 7.5 hours.
That's me. That's me. I sit down. I'm good for, and I do breathing exercises to go to sleep because to do this job, wake up early, and everything we're doing all day. You have to be intentional about your sleep to actually take care of your body and to get in here and not be so emotionally erratic that you get on this mic live and say some shit
That's
that
gonna haunt
ruin
you
your
forever.
whole life, right?
Exactly.
And so you gotta really be calm and you gotta be clear-minded. So in the evening around 8:30, sometimes 9, I'm intentionally quieting the house, my whole family, my lady, my daughter, everybody's going into their zones to get quiet. And then everybody goes into, I go into breathing exercises when I lay down and next thing you know.
But that's a good thing though.
Yeah.
That's bliss. When you can just when you can calm your mind and not think about anything, that is the state of bliss. Because you're not concerned, you're not worried about anything.
Yo, you late. We already did that, bro.
Just saying. Because it gets hated on every day.
No. What gets hated on is y'all going ziz. That's what gets hated on.
Well, sometimes you just vibe. You get caught up in the vibe.
Well, listen, Taraji, Laura was in here glowing yesterday with the news of you coming to Abbott Elementary for a little run.
Oh, my God. I am, let me
Isn't that
tell
show
you.
phenomenal, bro?
I've been a fan since day one. First of all, let's give it up for Quinta.
Yeah. Miss Brunson, amazing.
I'm so proud of
It's
her.
just a feel-good show, right?
It really is. And I was a substitute teacher. So I really understand.
Wow.
Like right before I booked Baby Boy, that's what I was doing. And Crenshaw, I was a substitute teacher. And so I really have a deep love for the show, the whole concept. And I just remember it just aired actually. We did an episode of That's My Jam on Jimmy Fallon. And Quinta, we were competing against each other, and I told her, girl, I'm so proud of you. I love you. The show is amazing. I'm so proud of you. And I was like, anytime, just call me anytime. And she was like, no, we gotta wait until the show. I said, wait until the show. What? Y'all racking up awards? That show is amazing. Are you kidding? Girl, call me. And she did. And I said yes right away. And I had so much fun. But the character is hilarious. So I play Vanetta, her mother, and her mother is a mess. She's a mess. Single mother. She had 2 baby daddies. You'll see, but she's a mess.
Wait, but you play. So doesn't that mean, wouldn't that character to me say that it could be recurring for the rest of the series?
I mean, you never know what could happen. I was just happy to do the episode.
Because they may go.
Mom's popping it out.
I was about to say, and she could have 5 years left. I'm just.
I mean, you met her sister.
Right.
Now you met her mom.
That's
so
right.
you never know.
Now, have you done comedy TV before?
Actually, yes. When I first, that's what I flew out to LA to do comedy because I loved the hours. I was a single mother, and I was like, yeah, that's banker's hours. I could do that. And then I started doing drama. Ugh. But that's okay. I'm a trained actress. But that's what I really wanted to do. I wanted to book a hit sitcom.
Interesting.
God has a funny way of throwing, your plans.
Well, you liked the idea of you just have a job, you work 9 to 5 every day, essentially.
You get the hiatus every 2 weeks or whatever, know. But that's not how it panned out for me. But whatever. But yes, I started on Sister, then Smart Guy. Like I was doing a lot of guest starring on sitcoms, and then I booked Baby Boy, and after that everything was dramatic. So I've been fighting all this time to do more comedy because that's literally what I want to do.
Laugh more.
I want to laugh.
Right.
Have you felt any change? There's been all the talk the last couple of years, Hollywood trying to get things right and do the right thing around Black creators and Black stories. You are a Black creative who's been around now from a different era practically when you think about it. Have you felt anything the last couple of years, any level of progress? Does the phone ring from different people? Is there anything really going on that's positive in Hollywood?
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. You see in different kinds of Black women, Black and brown women. It's not just the one woman at a time. Remember, all we had, God bless her, was Halle Berry at one point. You know what I mean? But now you have all kinds. You got Viola, Octavia, me. You got Carrie. The list goes on. And so you have all of these different stories, which that's what it should look like. That's what life looks like,
That's what America looks like, certainly.
Exactly. But with my money, though, they can work on that.
So that's still not.
They still gotta.
The wage gap is crazy.
It's crazy.
It's already crazy for women, but then Black women is a whole
we're
other.
at the bottom of the totem pole because the white man is gonna get paid everything. Then then the white woman, then the Black male, and then us, and we get the scraps. So I'm still fighting that good fight.
And is that's an agent kind of business behind
lawyers,
the scenes, lawyers, the whole thing.
Yeah, and you just have to know your worth because I'll be like, no, click, walk away.
Are you a tough client for your agent?
No, not at all. I'm a people person. I love people, and I'm
laugh
a
and
partner.
talking shit.
but I want to work. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you're not gonna play me for no chump. Like I know what I bring to the table. I have the audience to prove it.
Right.
So give me my money. Give me my money.
Now, and I know nothing about what happens in Hollywood or agents, but I mean, like even on social media, your following is so big. Does that even do they because when it comes time to go on a promo and it goes time to tell the story and get people to the box office, your shit goes far.
That's a big part of the game now, which is weird for me because it never, like you said, I come from a different era. We had, what was it, two-way pages?
Yeah, you were.
But now they expect you to do that. And so then I'm like, well, if you expect, because that's a whole nother job. So you going to put another zero on that?
Right.
Because
that's true. Because if you want me to promote, you want me to be a promoter
also.
That's
a whole job.
That's marketing. Yeah.
Right. And now I got to come out of my pocket and I got to go pay a social media team. Because I honestly don't have the time to sit there and formulate those videos like that. Most of the stuff I do, like I handle my page. But when I get busy and it's time to heavily promote something, I'm too busy at an interview at a mic. So I can't do, you know what I mean? So I need the help. So now I got to come out of my pocket and pay for a whole social media and they're not cheap. They're like $10,000 a month and up.
If you want it done right and good.
If you want it done right.
Quality.
And so come on, that's extra money. So you gonna take care of that?
Right. You guys can hire the team.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Exactly. Because it's literally a part of the job description now.
Which sucks.
They expect you to do that.
Because what I always liked about the idea of being an actor is, like, we always operate in this world where as radio hosts, we're promoting shows, we have our different things we got to send people to. An actor of your level, you could make the choice, I would think, to just throw your phone away and be like, I go act in films, that's what I do.
Yeah, I
like,
really
why
could.
do you need to promote that? To me, that's just like, it seems like a bummer that even exists as an idea.
I know, but it is a part of the game because everything is driven by it now. Tweets and Empire was a big,
social media thing.
Oh my God, with the memes and the posting and the this and the that, it was all about the wardrobe, and we were inundated with having to tweet and post, but now it's a norm. They expect you to do it.
Yeah, but they expect who to do it. That's the part that's annoying about it, right? If Jane Fonda gets a role next month, are they going to be like, hey, Jane, by the way, no, you're 80.
Right.
Time to get there on the Instagram.
But they're doing it.
They really are?
I mean, not as much. And
I'm just saying, at a certain level, at a Taraji P. Henson level, no offense, fuck your Twitter and Instagram. I'm in the show. That's what you get, is me in the show. Right. Unless you're right. You want to come off a lot of money.
Right.
That's a different thing.
Yeah, well,
Rosenberg sound like he auditioning to be
I'll be your agent.
I know.
You want to talk to Taraji? Call me. I have the name for it. If you said my agent's Peter Rosenberg, people would believe you in 1 second. They're ours. Where's he? He's CIA, WME? Where's he?
Taraji P. Henson, we love you. And y'all, if people want to find out if their schools are involved in this program coming to campuses, how can they, or if it's not coming to their campus and they want it to come to their campus?
Well, we select the schools, first of all. We go through this deep research. And the reason why we chose Alabama State University, it's all HBCUs, by the way, is because they already have a system in place there where they are they advocate for mental wellness, but they need help. They need
resources, support,
right?
all of
and
this.
so we're coming in to help. We're not opposed to teaching and bringing it to a university, but there's a whole process where we select. Yeah, I can't really say who's next, but another university is next.
Y'all, Taraji P. Henson, man, the legend. You
Thank
you legend
you.
status now.
Oh,
and a friend, so we love you. Thank you so much.
I love you too.
Thanks, Taraji.
Thanks so much.